Hello my friends, and welcome to another pick a card reading where I'll be looking at how to open your heart again. There are so many things that we go through in life that cause us to kind of close our hearts. They open and they close at different points, like a flower. And some things cause it to be really open and full. And then other times it will just kind of like clamp shut, and it'll be difficult for anybody to get in, or anything to get in, until something just kind of like filters in and breaks it apart. So what this reading will be doing will be exploring that. And by the choice, I've decided to use the Ace of Cups from these decks. Now this reading is resonating with me personally on a deep level at the moment. So that's why I felt compelled to do it. So I hope it will be as healing for you as I know it will be for me. Even just talking about opening the heart gets me to connect with my emotions and to connect with who I am and the true essence of who I am, on a loving, giving and interpersonal level, and also in a sense of community as well. Something where I can kind of really be generous with love, and that's what I kind of want to express in this reading and help you to do within this reading. So we've got the Rainbow Heart Tarot, which is this Ace of Cups, beautiful card. We've got the Luxex Umbra Tarot with this Ace of Cups, pile 2. And then we've got the Ace of Cups from the White Fly Tarot. So pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. Timestamps will be in the description box below, and I'll see your reading. Bye. Hi pile 1, and welcome to your reading. So, how to open your heart again. My heart is just like, what? What a beautiful card. Almost showing like possibility. We've also got the lotus, which is the whole kind of analogy that I was thinking when I was describing the opening of that heart chakra, that opening, that opening and closing kind of action that happens. Because, when we come into this world and when you look at children, young children, they're so free and they're so open and they're so beautiful, kind of really, they don't see ugliness or disdain or anything like that as we do, because of all of our kind of programming, constraints, influences from external sources. So, there's a real joyfulness and beauty. So the thing I see mainly with this card is that you saw things, that there was a disruption to that sense of innocence. You saw things with a sense of beauty, and it's almost like you want to regain that. Or that this has been forgotten or lost, And when I say lost, I mean like it hasn't been lost permanently. There is always an opportunity to be able to find things again. It's just that sense of reclaiming it, coming back to it and finding the joy. Because compared to the other two Ace of Cups, this one is very pink. There's pink, turquoise and purple, like my favorite colors. And also they're very resonant with kind of heart chakra, throat chakra energies, because we've got so much blue and green going on here. We've got something connecting as well to that kind of that heart chakra as well. But then, you do have, there's something about breaking it open. There's something that's actually quite desperate to overflow for it to be really kind of clear. But it's almost like there's I think this is what you want to regain, and I think there may be some kind of sadness that isn't, that you don't know if you can see that as well. There may also be something about you believing that you had rose-colored glasses on. So let's have a look at your oracle cards. Okay, so I've got some goddess energy for you, which is Mart, justice, balance, and truth. I've got astrology here with I believe. Okay, I looked at these the wrong way. And then, how many other cards? I've got quite a few cards for you, Paul. And then we've got the scales, which is balance. Interesting. We've got two kind of scale cards here. Yeah. indecision. Interesting. Wow, that's quite connected with Libra, which is connected to this sense of balance as well. Interesting. Let's see how much space I've got up here. And then this one. Renf, Angel of Time. Wow. Okay. So. Okay, pile one. So what I'm seeing initially is this kind of sense of hoping that time will heal all wounds. There may be this sense that you think that you'll be able to see again with this kind of view in time. The issue I see here is that there may be something that's a little bit like, I don't know, slightly delusional. With the Pisces and also with this particular Ace of Cups, there's this kind of thing of where you think that everything's going to sort itself out in time without you being able to do anything. Indecision, I use intuition in all aspects of my life. It's interesting because indecision and that actually doesn't make sense together for me. Because if you use intuition in all aspects of your life, there may be some actual, like, you may be able to actually make a decision. So it would be decisiveness, right? But then instead the card is telling me indecision. So, and I used to go out with a Libra, so I fully have the experience of somebody who's indecisive. actually drives me nuts. So, but like with Mart as well, it seems like the urgency for you to create good boundaries in your life is going to be really integral for you to be able to establish this kind of view again, it seems. Because there's this kind of ideal that you believe that people are, you know, you're seeing the best in people all the time. And I'm not saying that not to do that. But I do believe that there are people out there who are willing to take advantage of that, regardless of whether or not you believe it or not. It's the truth, because that's the world we live in. We live in a world where people are looking to capitalize in any way that they can. That is just the way it goes, and that's part of duality. That's part of nature. Even if something is beautiful and good, somebody will want to capitalize upon that and also try and make money out of it, or try and make some kind of like profit out of it. It's the way it is, you know. As I said, you can't really run away from it. The Angel of Time kind of says to me that there is this sense of like real, you really do think that time will heal all wounds. And I do think time is a good healer, but I just think that it's important to remember that time isn't the only healer. It isn't the one that like will completely heal everything. You have to make sure that the wound is healing right? So for example, if you think that you know, you can just heal the wound, that the wound will heal by itself. That's, you know, and then when it heals, then you realize that actually you could have done something to make it heal better. Then you know, and then you find that actually if you'd taken like different action when it had occurred, then, you know, things could have turned out a little bit differently. So, or you could have had like a better time in the respect of like how it healed. Do you know what I mean? So it's about really taking action in that moment. And, you know, I think there's a reliance here. There's a reliance that who did bad to me will get their just desserts. And I don't have to do anything. I don't have to change anything about myself. I'm not saying that that's necessarily like what's going on, but like I just think that it's interesting how we've got these two balance cards here. It's telling me that there's a need for more balance. We'll see what happens with the tarot, but I just think it's interesting to look at initially. So let's see what the tarot has to say. I may need to cover up some of the things. We'll see what happens, the images. because I love this deck, but I haven't been able to. Okay, right. So we've got the Star, we've got the Hanged Man reversed, we've got the Five of Swords, we've got the Two of Swords, we've got the Six of Pentacles, and we've got the Eight of Swords. Again, look at that balance card, but it's out. Okay, have we got Temperance? No, we haven't. Okay. So we haven't got Temperance, but that's okay. That's good, in a way. In a way, we've got the Six of Pentacles. Now, the Six of Pentacles is interesting, because, like, this Six of Pentacles denotes balance, but, like, my traditional feeling of this is that, okay, I see what's going on. My traditional feeling of this is that when it's reversed, it means that a balance is reestablished. So, yeah, that's what it seems like to me. So I think that, you know, I think there's just this compromise that happens, that you almost allow yourself to kind of like be a little bit like swayed in one direction or another, because there's a real hope that somebody is going to see things from your perspective. They're going to see how things can turn out. They're going to see that what you are. They're going to see how you truly contribute to this situation. They're going to see your true value and true worth. But what happens is that they don't. They end up not doing that, and that's what's hurting your heart. So in order to open your heart properly, Pearl 1, the main thing is to reestablish your boundaries, because there's some kind of like, and you know, that's the killer, you know. But then what's going on is that with this Eight of Swords and with this Hanged Man reversed, there's this kind of like, there's this stuckness, this stuck feeling. Hanged Man is the opportunity to hang back and then also be able to see things from a different perspective. With the chrysalises that are here, or chrysolite, I don't know what the plural is of chrysalis, but with these the many chrysalises that are here, or chrysolite, whatever, there's transformation occurring. And when it's reversed, it's like almost imposed or forced. And the thing is that you want to make it fair for everyone, but with this here, with the Two of Swords here, it just kind of gives me that you're not able to, and that's Moon in Libra as well. So we've got lots of Libra energy here, lots of kind of peacemaking energy here, and it's interesting because Pisces, like, so you've got the balance of two things. Gemini, Libra, Pisces, they're usually like two things, you know, in that respect. So with that in mind, I think it's kind of important to remember that even if you are justifying the means for your kind of silence or not saying something in the respect for everyone else, are you compromising yourself as well? Because that Hanged Man and that Eight of Swords is telling me that there's this thing that's going on with you. And you've got like a real kind of hope for it. Like you really aspire to, and because the Star is Aquarius as well, I just feel like there's this sense of community that you would rather adhere to rather than actually just think about yourself. And if you are to open your heart fully, you need to consider yourself a bit more. I think there is an overflowing abundance and beauty. But the thing that also gets me about that card is that the pink and the purple is very big, like, and also the psychic intuition is off the charts. But the throat chakra, which is that green, is tiny, and the heart is even tinier. That's the green, and then you've got this aqua, and which is just there and just there, whereas everything else is pink and purple and salmon and those kind of colors. You've got a tiny bit of like light blue there, but there's not as much as the pink. So what I'm thinking is that there needs to be more balance of the green. There needs to be more balance of the heart, so that you being able to connect with your heart and being able to be true to yourself. The thing is with Mars and expressing yourself in like a bigger situation, like externally, because the thing is with Ma is that if you, like, the whole idea with Ma is that she was there, she is the goddess that weighs the heart, weighs your heart to see whether or not, if it is laden with any kind of guilt, then it will weigh heavier than the feather that it goes on, that she weighs it against, and then if it's heavier than that feather, you are doomed to the underworld. So what that means is that, are you living your life in the best possible way for yourself, or are you living it in fear of others? That's what it is. And it's about you being true to yourself in that respect. The scales is urging you to like go with this balance. And the thing is that because these are upright, or this one is upright, I do think you've got a good sense of it. But this card is giving me a bit of, it's niggling me, because like I just kind of think indecision, and then we've got this. I use intuition in all aspects of my life. It's completely contradictory in that sense of the card. I don't usually get that card. First time I've seen it, really, to be fair. But there's something that just doesn't feel right, quite literally, with the intuition. It doesn't feel like, if I use intuition in all aspects of my life, you can't, like, yes, you do use intuition, but you still have to make like a logic. Both sides have to work. It needs to be a balance. So maybe you might be someone that has these rose tinted glasses and looks at everything like, oh yeah, all happy, happy, joy, joy. It doesn't work like that. And it's kind of like, it's interesting because that's kind of like the basis of my readings. Like, I don't want people to think that it isn't all roses. It isn't. And my readings are very much about you being able to like look at something really clearly and doing the work. And then once that's done, it's done, you know, then you can move on, and rather than run away from something. So I think that with this Eight of Swords, I think it's about you being, I think, you know, because, you know, she can easily get up. She can easily get up and get out of this. But there's just a lot of like the compromising of self that's going on here for the greater good. So let's see what the Black Mirror and Broken Mirror has to say. Now, the reason why I use the Broken Mirror deck in this respect is because sometimes the view that we have of ourselves can be skewed. Sometimes we can believe we see one thing, but actually it's another. And I mean, you know, we could go into that whole kind of dilemma about the type of perception. What perception are we looking at? But, you know, if we want to look at ourselves in the clearest possible way, it's just good to see different perspectives, and we don't have that with that Hanged Man reverse. There's one perspective, and I see this as you projecting perspective onto the outside. I don't see this as you being, I don't know, dare I say it, a little bit selfish. And that might be really useful because, you know, when you come from a selfish kind of perspective, when you come from a selfish perspective, the Queen of Cups is there, you can tune into the needs of others better, you know? It's interesting, it's weird, it's like, it happens a lot when you're a deep empath, when you really can connect deeply to other people. And it's just boundaries. It's understanding boundaries clearly. It doesn't mean that you're a mean person. It doesn't mean that you're bad. It just means that you need to just ascertain boundaries better. So let's have a look at what these cards have to say. Please, could you clarify the star? The star is the Five of... Okay, the Five of Coins. It's because you don't want to be alone. Pile 1. You don't want to be left out in the cold. You feel like if you employ this attitude, it will actually aid your opening your heart, which is interesting because actually it's the other way around. Hanged Man reversed, the Four of Swords. It's almost like feeling like you can't do anything. And I don't know, like with this Angel of Time as well, I kind of feel that, you know, you feel like your time will come. Like your time will happen. And I don't know, like what I'm really getting is that you may see from other people's perspective too much. Like the thing is with like reversed tarot is also that it can swing one way or the other. So not only is it the opposite meaning, but it also could be too much of the meaning. So in this respect, you could be looking at things, and this is what I'm seeing. You could be looking at things from everybody's perspective so much that you're dishonoring your own. And then that's encouraging somewhere where you can't really talk, you can't really say anything. And it's interesting how we have those 3 swords that are going in, and then you've got this 1 sword that is there. So that would be the ace, and then you have the 3. So it's almost like, and what's interesting in this particular deck, he's got like, he's there and he's resting, but there's green kind of like clouds coming from there, which tell me that there's like kind of some thought forms that are kind of messing with him while he's trying to rest. And then the ace or the 1 sword is pointing downwards, so the ability to be able to like discern the truth is a little bit skewed, but you are in this resting state. Interesting, just interesting. Wow, you got the Hanged Man, 5 of Swords. Interesting. Okay, let me just pull another one. 2 of Swords, Justice. Okay. Oof. I think I know what's happening. And then the Knight of Cups reversed. Okay. High Priestess. All right, I see what's going on now. Wow, and we've got the Moon as well. So what's happening here is that you may feel like your hands are actually tied, like you can't actually speak your truth. And this may be because you're in a situation where the truth may not be accepted externally. But I think it's important to do so. I think you can actually see where it is really important for you to express the truth in this situation, because if you don't, there may be things that are happening that are not right. And I think that you really want to, really want to, but you're trying to figure out when is going to be the best time to say it. And you're trying to make sure that you know everything before you go forward. I think that's what's causing you to hold back. And it may be giving you the impression that, it may be giving others the impression that you're not opening your heart. That you're not communicating, or you're kind of easygoing, that you're easygoing. Sorry, I've got about 6 different thoughts in my head which I want to speak about at the same time, but I know that I only have to speak about one at the same time, so once. So what I'm getting here is that the way to open your heart again, part 1, is for you to understand the greater cause of why you are who you are. And realizing that not saying anything is actually going to put you in a position of disempowerment. The more that you take control of your power, the more you'll be able to actually go towards the state that you so admire. It's almost like you want to be this person that sees everything from everybody's perspective. You want a fair and balanced view. And you want to be perceived as someone who's fair and balanced. But because you're doing that so much, there's this sense of you just go, like there's this just indecisiveness that's happening here. There's actually, it's very, very common with people who can't make decisions. When people are kind of like really super easygoing, there's a sense of like, there's no boundaries in place. And it's really good to express your boundary. I mean, of course, definitely I understand, oh yeah, we can do whatever. But I mean, and it's good. It's good to a certain extent if someone has a plan. But then somebody might not have a plan, and it might be good for you to have some kind of input there, particularly when you do have something to say. And when you do have something to say, it's important to make sure that you've got the space to say it. And even by like expressing this Hanged Man in its correct way, rather than doing it there, it gives you the opportunity to be seen. Like, everybody can see this hanged man for who he is, or this hanged person, or whatever. Everybody can see that hanged person, because that's why it's there. It's there for a sense of enlightenment, a sense of, you know, for you to go forward, for you to really show yourself in a way that is respected. And then you've got justice here. It shows that you really kind of, you're speaking for a good cause, and you only speak really when it's necessary. You may even not even be able to speak because it's an unjust cause. You may have trouble like trying to kind of come to terms with that. And it might be that you're finding it difficult to like speak in a loving way, which is why this Knight of Cups is reversed. You may be trying to find the way to speak in a loving way. But sometimes we can't, you know, you just got to say what you've got to say. Just say it as it is, rather than trying to please people with what you say. Sometimes there's just no nice way to say it as well. You just have to say it. And the High Priestess energy is very much that. Like, it's that cold, dark energy that isn't the easiest. And it's not the clearest as well. Like, it may not even be clear to you, but just getting it out there and saying what you have to say is, I think, quite important. I've got like the element of wings here and balance. There is a big sense of justice here, pile 1. So I think you really need to do justice to yourself in this respect and be honest with yourself in how you come forward. So what I'm trying to say is that don't hold yourself back with all the needs of others. Don't be scared that what you may say may offend people. Because it seems like in the process that being scared to do that is actually putting you in a position where you can't even say what you want. So, yeah, that's what I'm seeing, pile 1. Okay, let's have some more oracle cards. Okay, so we've got integration. It was reversed. So, I mean, this kind of says what I'm saying perfectly. Like, there is this... I always say to my clients, integrate, integrate, integrate. You know, it's all well and good. You're doing all of these things. You may do like workshops. You may do plant medicine. You may do all of these things. You may do journey work. You may do like tarot readings, whatever it is. It's all well and good that you go and see these or you go and do them, but it's about integration. And if you're not integrating the information that you've got in these circumstances, events, workshops, whatever it is, then what are you doing? What are you doing? And this is something that's quite close to my heart, because I kind of feel like, this is something that leads on to like this sense of like spiritual justice or whatever. And it's about how we integrate this work into ourselves and then emanate that through our being. How do we make sure that the balance and the justice is right within ourselves so that we can exude that? And I mean, we haven't got the Lovers here. The Lovers here would tell me that there is this internal imbalance. I don't think there is an internal imbalance. I think that this is to do with external, because we've got so much Libra energy going on here. I'm just feeling like there's kind of this... Let me just have a look where the 4... Yeah, the 4 is... Let's have a look. Yeah, it's still Libra. The 4 is Libra, the 2 is Libra. Let me just have a look. Libra in Jupiter. So I think it's just really important that you take the time to really see how you are placing yourself within situations with other people. This is to do with other people. This is to do interpersonally. This is not personal. But it's interesting because that's how you open your heart, which is obviously very personal. Okay, and then we've got... I'll get you some animal guidance. So we've got stability, sea turtle. Wow, and you can see this little child sleeping on the sea turtle's back. Beautiful. I think, you know, what's really interesting is that there's this striving for an idyllic kind of future, an idyllic situation. The thing I'm getting here is that sea turtles were almost hunted to extinction because of their shells I'm seeing here. And the sea turtle it doesn't fight back. Like it doesn't have any kind of thing to, you know, to humans there's no problem. The humans could just hunt this sea turtle down, so much so that it could almost be extinct. So what I see there is that people will continue to take advantage if they can. So just make sure that they're not taking advantage of you. That's what I see. I don't see it overtly, like that people are taking advantage of you, but I see that the reason why you're allowing them to let them do this is because there's a fear of being alone. And it's actually working in the opposite effect. Wow, cleansing portal. Oh, wrong one. And then we've got letting go. Wow. I don't know if you do any meditations with the sea, pile one. Like, do some meditations with the sea. Go to sea water. Go to water. Water is really calling you, I think. You've got Pisces. You've got the sea turtle. I don't know, even with this cups card. I'm just feeling a lot of sea vibes. And also you've even got the sea on this integration as well. Go to the sea if you can. And if not, like listen to some beach wave music or meditation or something like that. And do some meditations with the sea. That'll really help you to cleanse and also to let go. The sea is very much about letting go. And then we've got Guacamo Casanova, of course. Oh my God. Be the flame, not the moth. Always a free agent. Promise fidelity to all. That's so Libran. And also, it's not destiny, it's opportunity. Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay, Casanova. I hear you. So, okay. The thing that comes to me is that, yeah, be the flame, not the moth. So it's almost like, don't be the thing that attracts that you are going to, which is this thing. It's this indecision thing. Like, it's that sense of going with the flow as opposed to being the steadfast flame that everything comes to. I really like that. Always be a free agent. Promise fidelity to all. So you're promising fidelity to all. So you're promising... That's a contradiction. Always be a free agent. Promise fidelity to all. So that's almost like promising that you're going to be honest to all. Well, okay, right. So the way I see that is being a free agent, promise fidelity to all. If I'm taking it in the context of what I just said, then that means that the truth shall set you free. The truth shall set you free. So that's, be truthful. Be truthful about yourself to others. And it's not destiny, it's opportunity. You're not at the fate of your destiny. You're not at the hands of your destiny, this is what I was coming back to with this whole kind of spiritual, that it's all in the lap of the gods. No, it's not. To a certain extent, maybe, but then you make decisions within that to decide your path. Choose your own adventure. Do you know what I mean? It's about you taking action, and then this will determine, your learning experience within this lifetime or within this incarnation. And then to close out, we've got self-esteem as your chakra cards, which is power, Mercury, communication. And that's throat chakra energy. Well, it's it's Manipura energy, which is solar plexus chakra energy, to do with like power, but Mercury is to do with the throat, to do with communication. So it's about being assertive within your communication to others, yeah, and yourself. I think maybe that might be a good start to look at how you communicate to yourself. I don't know, I don't really see that like personally, because as I said, I didn't see like the Lovers reversed, but that could be that it may not have been a relationship that put you in this position of kind of not like putting others forward. It may be to do with something else. I think personally it's to do with you kind of keeping a sense of community with the people that are around you and trying to maintain kind of the status quo. Whereas if you assert power, that's going to make you very much like, people are going to want to come to you. That's going to turn you into the moth. Sorry, that's going to turn you into the flame, not the moth. At the moment, you're the moth, which is interesting with that card here with this Hanged Man reversed, because we saw the chrysalis reversed. So I don't know. I think there just needs to be some focus and intention on your communication with others, and remember that you are just as important. And it's interesting how the only yellow that I'm really seeing is the star that's here, and I'm seeing the cup that's here. There is a bit of yellow here, but I don't know what that is. Can't remember. What is that? Oh, Five of Swords, and it's the sky. So I mean, you know, they're stars. You know, it's the sun. It's something very bright, and gold as well. Gold might be good for you to wear as well for kind of imploring your power and accentuating your power. So that's how you can open your heart again. Pile 1. Quite clear. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you liked it, please do like it. Please do give it a thumbs up. And remember, you are important. You are beautiful. You're amazing. Please don't forget that. But otherwise, my darlings, you take care. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you want to get a personal reading, hit me up on my email. But otherwise, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Hello, Pile 2, and welcome to your reading. So we're taking a look at how to open your heart again. And with this particular Ace of Cups, this is really interesting, because what I'm seeing is this kind of like luminescence that's coming off of the light of the cup, and also like going into this beautiful kind of greeny blue. So there's something to do with your intuition guiding you to what your heart truly wants to communicate with you. So you do have an idea already about how it is that you would be a good way to open your heart. But what's really interesting is that there's something about focus here. There's something about you being able to focus on the light. And also with this kind of like splashing around, there's something not being focused on here. So possibly like placement of focus is probably the main issue. Let's have a look at your oracle cards. Bear with me 1 second, my friends. Okay, so let's have a look at your oracle cards. So we have got Sheila Nagig, and then we've also got the Elephant reversed. We have Health reversed. We have Aries, I Am. And then we also have Shatail, the Angel of Silence. Interesting. You may feel like you want to give birth to something. Pile 2. There may be something that you want to, that you want to express, that you want to give birth to, but you're trying to You're trying to understand what exactly it is that you're trying to give birth to exactly. Maybe you're not sure about it. There may also be a sense of power that you are trying to, I don't know, maybe you're trying to suppress it for some reason. I don't know, but there's a big element of you have a lot of power, pile 2. There's something very big about you. It's almost like your heart wants to burst out of its chest, but it can't. And you don't know if it's possibly safe to. This health card here. I will honour the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. There's something that you may feel that maybe with putting yourself out there or putting yourself in a vulnerable place makes you feel compromised, and that is something that is stopping you from being able to open your heart. It's interesting as well because I feel that what is really needed is some kind of internal kind of contemplation, some internal exploration that I think is interesting here. And it's also like there almost seems like there's a possibility for you to like really explore that and go inside. So and the thing I also get from this cup card is that it's a very simple cup. It reminds me of the Holy Grail in Indiana Jones. Do you remember? If you've seen Indiana Jones, like he has all of these cups to choose from, and he chooses the plainest one, and that's the right cup. And you know, you may seem like there's nothing really to you, but there is a lot that is bubbling under the surface, and it's almost like you're in a conflict, and being able to express that without kind of it bursting out. That's what I get the sense of. So it's all about you trying to like siphon off the energy in a really healthy way. I'm curious about that health card though. And I don't know, I feel like you not being able to connect with this is actually really important, like for your health wise. I feel like it is directly connected with your health. But I don't know. Let's have a look what the cards have to say. Also the idea that this tarot is the Lux ex Umbra, which is the light shining through. And I'm thinking of that saying, you know, the cracks are where the lights get in, or the light gets in. So it's about you being able to allow that illumination to yourself. And we've also got like gateways and openings. So, yeah. There's something about you allowing some kind of something to go in. How does pile 2 open their heart? We've got the 8 of Wands reversed. We've got the Queen of Cups reversed. Sorry, 8 of Wands upright, Queen of Cups reversed. The Star upright. The Sun reversed. Interesting. the King of Pentacles reversed and the Hermit. Okay. Yeah, this is about internal work, about you going inside, you finding some kind of there's, you know, you've got a Queen of Cups reversed, Queen of Pentacles reversed, King of Pentacles reversed. So you've got a mother and father figure here, or quite prominent figures here that are saying that there is some kind of yeah, there's an important part of you that needs to be examined, because something about you is not being allowed to shine, or you can kind of sense that you not being able to exhibit this part of yourself, it's painful. It's almost going against your own nature. I always associate the Eight of Wands with a Sagittarian vibe. It is Sagittarius and Mercury. And you wanting to communicate that, and then you've also got Aries here, which is just like a lot of fire. But the Sun is reversed, and that's Leo. So that would have been the last. That would have been like Aries, Leo. Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. But this is reversed, and that's because of these two cards here. I think there's something that happened, like with a major maternal and paternal figure, maybe a paternal figure at work and an emotional figure at home, female figure at home. Or it could be someone that actually, a male figure that affected your security, and then a female figure that took it out on you, basically. Took her stuff out on you. Be that at work, be that with family. And I wouldn't be surprised if you don't want to say anything, because you don't want to like hurt anyone or disappoint anyone or rock the boat. But there's something about you being able to reflect upon this stuff. I think there's some investigation that needs to be done, pile 2. Some reflection. If you aren't already doing it, you might already be doing it. I feel like some of you are doing it. You're in the process of. You may be in the process of the dark night of the soul, because, you know, with these 3, they definitely kind of signify that. And you're kind of living life. It's okay, but, you know, you're looking for... You don't want to be just happy. And I really emphasize that, you know, it's... My channel is for people that want to be just more than just happy. They want to move forward, and they want to do things and change things with their lives. That's what I feel is happening here. So, pile 2, you probably have been through several dark nights of the soul. And you're probably on your like 4th or 5th layer of the onion, probably. Let's have a look if I can get any more information. It's a little bit in the dark, I'm not going to lie. But I think there's another layer to do with like some ancestral stuff, I think. But these 2 characters, the Queen of Cups reversed and the King of Cups and the King of Pentacles reversed. Yeah. And they have a direct relation to the health issue and the lack of stability. Elephant reversed. But I am, that's 1st house energy, so that's like, that's to do with self. Maybe your identity is something that you're still trying to kind of work out. 2 of Wands. Sorry, my friends. Excuse me. Oh dear. I thought I was going to sneeze again. yeah, there's been a real lack of stability. A real lack of stability. So it's actually caused you to like want to move forward. Pretty much. You just want to continue moving, keep on moving. And it's interesting because the Two of Wands is Mars in Aries. So, and that's reversed. So that's saying that there's some conflict there, which is what's leading to this reversed sun. What I mean by that is that this is like stability and understanding of self. With the Eight of Wands reversed, you've got this Sagittarian energy that is overtaking this Aries energy, which means that from something that's cardinal, that knows where it's going, that has a direction in where it's going, you've got something that's kind of a little bit all over the place. Something that's scattered. It's not stable, it's not strong. And that's what I said initially about this card. Like there was some kind of focus aspect that was needed. Something is just telling me that you need to follow the light. Like you need to follow like the light of where to go. And that will help you. You've also got the Four of Coins reversed. So this emotional element has actually unlocked something for you in order to unlock this. There's a key in the pain. There's a key in the process. The Star is clarified by the World. Yeah, you know it's time. You know this is time to do the work and to kind of go on this path. I really do feel like you know what you're doing. Pile 2. I feel like you've got it. You're a bit pile 3 actually today. Wow, Knight of Wands, look at that. So the Knight of Wands is clarifying the Sun. So it's almost like the Knight of Wands won't take no for an answer. Like you're not going to give up on this. You're going to just keep on going. You're just going to keep on doing what you're doing it the best way that you can. You're gonna win at this, basically. That's what I think. Wow, the High Priestess. I really do think you've done like quite a lot of introspective work already to find out what your triggers are. If you have got ancestral stuff, you probably already understand it about yourself. You probably already know about it. But as I said, it's like an onion. So I don't know if you're doing like a lot of different like modalities, or maybe you're going to like quite a few workshops or things like that about how to like, you know, you're like how to evolve a bit more spiritually. But try to focus on something, because that will help you, you know, work with the first thing that comes up to you, rather than thinking about things on a grand scale. Try and go down to try and bring the focus down to the thing that really essentially triggers you. Like say, for example, if like there's somebody in the way that someone talks, yeah, or the way that someone talked to you, think about like an event or something like that. Within safety, I'm not asking you to re-traumatize yourself or anything like that. You want to just maybe, you know, like the last thing that upset you, you just think about that and then maybe journal on it, you know, do your work that you do on it, but also just focus on that for a bit of time, and designate that, be organized about it. It will help. Even if that isn't something that you normally do, it might be useful to just, you know, spend 2-3 minutes thinking about that and being able to see what is it about that really bothers you, and using those triggers to kind of help you in that process, help you to focus on the things that you need to focus on and not on those, you know, what is it about the trigger that made you triggered? Can you remember when someone did that to you for the first time? I always find that a really useful exercise. Like if someone triggered me, if you're willing to do the work, because this is quite tough what I'm saying, but like basically, or tough not doing it with an actual practitioner or someone, but I'm confident that the majority of you know what you're doing. Like, say, for example, somebody bumps into you at the queue or something as mundane as that, or somebody like cuts in front of you. If you can, try to think of the very first time you ever felt that feeling and see what happens. Just see what happens. The Queen of Swords. Yeah, wow. The Queen of Swords covering the Hermit. Okay, well, that tells me everything. That says that there is some definite, like, kind of negative self-value, self-talk that's going on. And it will relate directly to that kind of, like, what I just described for you to, like, try and, like, look at your triggers. That will work perfectly for that. So check it out. This is how to open your heart, pile 2, yeah? Okay, let's see what's some... Okay, so we've got polar bear. Wow. Ancestors, look. And he's got a drum. The oldest shamans on this planet were the Siberian shamans. Well, they were the first, like, recorded shamans. And it's interesting. So we've got this kind of, like, polar bear that's here. Wow. So what I'm getting from that, I'm getting 2 things. I'm getting, one thing is, like, there's something that you need to unfreeze and unlock. And there's something that needs to be honoured. So even if you do come from caregivers, or you have bosses, or there have been people in your life that haven't treated you that well, they triggered you for some reason, and they're there to teach you something. And that's, you know, and I know that, you know, I know that most of you will understand what I'm saying, but it's very important to, like, look at, you know, the lesson of it. But that's very easy for me to say. It's very difficult to do, and it takes time. So be patient with yourself. But I think you guys have gone through it a couple of times. It's just refining, because as you can see here, the majority of the cup is in focus. It's just this bit here with this splash. So just a little bit of work around the head to do, really. Because there's some instincts with impulsiveness that kind of overtake. And I think being silent with oneself, meditation will really help you, pile 2. Wow, the Saviour. I wouldn't be surprised if some of you are chain breakers of your families, which means that you break the ancestral chains of your families. But it's tough. It's tough because sometimes you might feel that you're a bit unstable. Oh my gosh, honouring your energy, and honouring your energy truly, like understanding that, you know, you only have so much energy to do what you've got to do. You know, don't boil the ocean. And Rome wasn't built in a day. You have to take it a step at a time. And then we have Reena. The badder you are, the better it is. Sometimes you have to stick it out through the storm, and you have to be strong to let yourself be weak. Wow. I was thinking, is this the right kind of thing to be doing for this kind of reading? And then Reena comes out with some gems right here. So the badder you are, the better it is. It's just me. That I take as in, like, you know, have confidence in what you're doing. You know, I said something at the beginning about you not being able to say something or be yourself. If you need to refine that, then do your work and go inside and really get to that place where you can feel confident about yourself. So I think it's more about, when it says bad, I think it's just being honest, like with yourself. You've also got, sometimes you have to stick it through the storm. Yeah, sometimes you have to go through this process, particularly with this, like, you know, with these fire energies and then this reverse sun. And that's what the Knight of Wands is doing. It's kind of like pushing through it. And then you have to be strong to let yourself be weak. So in order to become vulnerable, which is what the Hermit is, and to kind of help with this, I think there is a bit of a mother wound here. A little bit of a mother wound. A bit of coldness here. So there's something there for you to work through. But I don't know. I feel like you're in the process of pile 2. So I think this is a work in progress. And I think you know what you're doing. This could be also like if you're connecting with your ancestors as well. But I did say anyway, I do think this is to do with you breaking chains. And then we have power, Neptune, inspiration, respect. So that's a solar plexus chakra. And then you have Neptune, which is kind of that inspiration with power and respecting yourself in those judgments. That's what Sheila Nagig is. Sheila Nagig is that understanding of like really honoring yourself. And she is all about power. She's all about respect. She is all about legacy. It's very important. So I think that's all I have for you, pile 2. I think so. I think overall, this kind of heart opening is not easy. It's not easy to be on this path. Sometimes you may think that how long is this going to last? How long am I going to be doing this? And the thing is, unfortunately, it never ends. It's a continual thing. Everything has to come to an end. But, it's a continual process, It's just about how we become okay with it. And respecting ourselves throughout the process, honouring our energy. You've got 15 twice here, so 1, 5, 6, the lovers. You've also got 26, which is 8. You do also have 1 plus 3, which is 4 there. So you've got all even numbers, which show apart from this 3, which is interesting, you've got this kind of like steadfast energy. Strong energy, solar plexus energy, fire energy. Fire is very good for you, even though we're working with cups energy as well. Fire is coming up very strong for you, pile 2. And that didn't mean to rhyme, I was just saying that. But yeah, that might be something to think about as well. Channeling the inner fire and training. So that inner fire isn't directed towards disempowerment of your own ego, but more for empowerment. How do you transform that so that you can make it empowered and focused like a laser? I think that will really help. Let me know in the comments below if you like this reading. Please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe for more videos. But otherwise, my darlings, you take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye. Hi pile 3 and welcome to your reading. So let's have a look at, wow, your Ace of Cups. I knew you already knew that it was this, but there's something very mysterious about this Ace of Cups. Like, even though we know that it's an ace, and we know that there's almost like this side of power, this kind of mysteriousness that's happening. It's really interesting. Yeah, there's just that possibility. It's like a beautiful single solitary cup with these gorgeous kind of leaves, but we don't know what's the possibility that it might hold. So it's almost like there's untapped potential that's going on here, which will unlock your heart, which will kind of open your heart again. Okay, let's see what your other cards have to say. So we've got the 12th house, escape, and that's reversed. We have Bastet, boundaries, psychic protection, intuition. We have humour, reversed. And it says, I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. we have chesed, which is the right hand. It's empathy. And one more card. We have the serpent and it's reversed. Okay. So I feel like something is, it's like you don't know what's going on. It's almost like you don't really truly understand what it is that may have shut your heart, that may have caused you to have shut it in the first place. You may have thought that there was something that you might have gotten over. I'm thinking that there's some kind of external thing that's caused this. I mean, you know, that's a bit general. It could be that with everything. But in this case, like it could be that with like all three of the piles, that it was something external that caused this kind of closing of the heart chakra. But I'm thinking that there may be something that's actively doing it now and not just in the past. Let me have a look with your tarot, pile 3. And it's something about you being empathetic. It's this, whatever it is finding a way in through your empathy, which is with why Bastet. Bastet is very powerful. Even though this card looks quite chill, she is probably one of the most fiercest Egyptian goddesses that are out there. So the fact that she's here is telling, and Chesed is very strong. So as one of the Seraphot in the Kabbalah, I think it's the second one, and it means that empathy is very clear. You really understand others to a very deep extent. But with this escape card, with this 12th house reversed, and this serpent reversed, it's almost like something tried to like hurt you or tried to attack you, like on a psychic level, pile 3. And you had some protections in place. But I think because of your empathy, that's what the way-in is. So let's have a deeper look at that. Temperance reversed. The King of Wands reversed. The 10 of Pentacles upright. Someone's not telling you the truth, pile 3. And it feels to me like they're trying to keep you in a position of some kind of, they're trying to dominate you, to keep you in a position of, so that they can have power over you. Wow, these are all issues to do with like of all of the piles, they've all been issues to do with the mother and father line, but more, my pile 3 has been the heaviest. You got the big guns. You got the Emperor and the Empress. None of the other piles got the Emperor and the Empress. We've got 3 major arcana here. The other 2 had the Star. They're a little bit more hopeful. Not to say that they aren't, that you're not, you know. It's just that yours a bit more heavy duty. You do have the Emperor upright though, so it means that your values and what you stand for are really, really strong. And your eyes are on the prize. you don't kind of you don't account for any BS. You really kind of keep things strong. But there's some block with the mother and the maternal line. It's probably why the cup is so small as well. It's a very small cup. And that Emperor looks so severe. And this is what this imbalance is here as well. Like you may find that you have, I don't know, path 3, you might find that you might spill over, like your empathy level is like off the charts. You also may find that you might rise to some kind of emotion quite quickly. So for example, if somebody triggers you in something, or you find like maybe Disney films or something like that, you might find that you're like bawling, like your emotions can run really high, even though this cup is small. But there's something about the cup not being able to contain the amount of strength that you have. That's why these are not the right way up, and this is why this is intact. It's almost like it's keeping it together. So it's almost like the male dominant, like the kind of, it's more, I wouldn't say it's like your divine masculine is good within yourself, but it's almost like it's working overtime. You may focus a lot on material security rather than thinking about your passions and your emotional kind of side of yourself. And that's where Bastet comes in. She kind of like protects you and makes you sure that, you know, you have that warrior kind of energy that stops you from being hurt at all. But there is this sense of not, you know, it's really interesting with this Temperance card. You've got this kind of like plugging into nature and unplugging away from kind of, I don't know, the Matrix or just life. The things that you have to do. But when it's reversed, it means that you're almost drained by it. It can definitely happen if you're in a state of overwhelm when it comes to your life. That could be happening as well. So let's see what these cards have to say about you opening your heart and fixing that. Temperance reversed is clarified by the Empress reversed again. Okay. Big mother issues here. The Two of Cups, the King of Wands. Okay. So maybe the relationships that you enter into could be a result of, if you've heard of something called attachment styles, that might be something to look into. You know, just being happy for the sake of being happy rather than being happy because you really want to be happy, or, you know, settling. Yeah, there's a settling thing about this pile. That's why 12th house escape was reversed, that there's something that you can't escape. And then also humour. You may use humour to get yourself out of it, to mask your pain. But there's something like rotting at the root here. And that's why this 10 of Pentacles is here. 10 of Pentacles, I always see it as keeping up with the Joneses, keeping up with the kind of the look of things, because it all looks very idyllic, right? But the truth is, it isn't. And we've got the Page of Swords here. I think, for me, the Page of Swords, when it's reversed, it means that you're deciding to look at something. You're deciding to make the choice to look at it for a change rather than look away from it and focus on something else. It's almost like you can't ignore this because it's so blatant. You can't ignore it. You just can't. You have to deal with it. Okay. Oh, interesting. That was reversed. Yeah, you're realizing it. Five of Pentacles reversed. Sorry, yeah, Five of Coins reversed. And the Page of Wands, right, okay. You may have children. You may have children that are able to help you heal and see the light in this respect. Like help you to, you know, you may be able to live better by them than you were by your family, by your, you know, by your caregivers. Or you may be able to pass that on to people that you mentor, or people that you're actually connected with, or that you might be able to teach. But it seems like you transmute this energy very well. Like you're one of these people that may have come from something that wasn't very nice, but you're able to transmute it. But there's something that with your relationships as well, like there may be also that either the relationships that you're in really help you to overcome those things from the past, or yeah, I mean, I don't know, with two Empresses reversed here, it seems to me like there's a recurring pattern of you maybe not being able to get the relationship that you want, which is why you've come to this reading and how to open your heart. I do feel like there is a tendency to get into some toxicity here. Like you may be with certain people because they seem to tick the boxes, whatever those boxes may be. So let's have a look at your other oracle cards. Horse, freedom. Walking through the door. Freeing yourself. Okay. Feminine energy. Yep, definitely. So what I'm seeing is that there needs to be an injection of feminine energy. Bastet is very much like it's a very male, like she is female, but she's aggressive female. Almost like Kali-esque. And you've got two double Empresses that are reversed, so you need something that's a little bit more Hathor-esque, which is more kind of where you want to create, where you want to give something. There's just a very strong male-dominated energy, particularly also with Hesed as well. That's also very male-dominated. I think I advised it to pile 1, go to the sea. Go to the sea and be with the sea. Regeneration. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you're burnt out, because we saw that with that Temperance card reversed. Because there's just something that you're not allowing yourself to kind of embrace your feminine side of yourself, and that will help you to open this up and to make this bigger. You want it to swell, you want it to engorge, you want it to get bigger. You want it to be like exactly what I'm trying to describe. Like you want it to be like flushed. You want it to be full of energy, full of life. And right now all you've got is this little cup. So you need to go to things that are going to like help you reconnect with this beautiful feminine energy. We've also got these spirals as well. So whatever makes you feel nourished, go for nourishment with this regeneration card. Okay. Oh wow, we've got Joan Collins. Beauty is power, so use it rather than lose it. Age is just a number, irrelevant unless it's a vintage wine, and everyone has a potential for a character in a novel. There is something about the mundane here, pile 3, even though I think you're exceptionally remarkable, because you've got kings, queens, pages, you've got people around you that think of you as a king or a queen, an emperor, an empress. So I think it's really important for you to remember that about yourself. You have like a wealth of experience. Joan Collins was always such an iconic figure in the 80s, which I grew up with, and I just love that. And there's something also very, very, I don't know, there's something very sophisticated about you, Pile 3. And I think you need to use it and value it. Regardless of whether or not you're in a relationship or not, in order to like unlock. I feel like you've got like plaque around your heart, like you've got like this casing that's kind of formed over the experiences that you've had to go through, and now it's about breaking that open, chipping away at it and breaking it open. It also may be that, you know, you're taking on other people's energy, and that also forms to the calcification. Wow, spirituality connection. That's really interesting. So I feel like there's this confidence that you need to have in connecting to the divine, in believing that you are worthy of this divine wisdom, because I think like you believe that you've got to work for it, and I don't think you have to. I think it's actually, you're blessed with it, with that Emperor energy that we have underneath here, and the King and the Ten of Pentacles that we have, King of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles underneath these cards. It's just this Empress energy that you need to invoke a bit more, that you need to tune into a bit more. So just anything that's going to help you to connect to your female side, your mother line. If you have female relatives, connect with them. Talk to them, see how they are, even if you haven't heard from them or spoken to them in years, maybe. Your sisters, your mothers, your cousins, you know, anybody who is a female sister. That might be very important for you. I do think it would be important for you via bloodline, like somebody who you can actually connect with. But if you can't, then I would say, you know, definitely with friends who you regard as your sisters, or other kind of figures that you regard as powerful mother figures, would be really, really good for you to do. And also recognize that those aspects within yourself, and believe in it. Connect to the divine of the feminine energy. The collective feminine unconscious would be something really useful to look into for you, Pile 3. And I think that there has to be like some kind of purity around that. You know, you have to be really, pure about it. Isn't quite innocent, it's more pure. It's more something that would allow you to come through this gateway in a way that will help you to kind of open the door to your heart again. Because at the moment it's a bit lost, because this is so small. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of you are like, I'm doing so much already, like, why is this not working? And it's because the cup's not big enough, so you need to make the vessel bigger. How do you do that? You kind of stretch it because at the moment your Empress cup was made very small, because the Empress who gave you the cup to begin with only gave you a small cup, so now you need to like engorge it, you need to make it bigger. And the only way you do it is like by filling it with more love, like for yourself in a feminine way, not with other people in terms of like material needs or stability or things like that. It needs to be with nourishing yourself and nourishing who you are. So, and be the star of your own novel, by the looks of things, according to Joan Collins. Anyway, my darlings, I hope you enjoyed that reading. If you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe for more videos. But otherwise, my darlings, I hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.